Okay, so I wanted to do this video to create and show you how I like to put chords into the SP. I have a couple ways I do it. However, a lot of times I think this is a better method because the SP, while it is an amazing sampler, I feel it lacks if you try to play chords in it. I always feel like the chords sound kind of trash in my opinion. Some people may feel different. They may like that. But for me, I just putting a single note and trying to play it in here, it just doesn't sound good. I'd rather just sample the chords in. And so that's my method. So you guys have seen in my videos, hopefully this lighting is decent because sometimes I feel like this lighting is a bit much. But I'll leave it on, whatever, for this video at least. So I use Tonality. You can use Scalar either way. These are scalar chords in Tonality. It doesn't really matter. I use Tonality because I like having the pads here personally to play on. Whereas Tonality, whereas Scalar, it is easier to layer out your chords in the order you want them. But that's just not how I work, whatever. So this is Neo Soul Keys, and I'm using this in AUM. This is a channel, in case you're wondering, running this to the SP. And then I have my chords where I just put them into here, chord. So I transferred that over to, I'll show you how I got it there. All right, so I picked some chords that I wanted from here, which were pretty much those are the chords I chose out of all those chords that you see on there. And to sample them in is pretty simple. You can see I have gate on, so all these are gated, but they're also on choke groups. So now you might think you don't really need them on choke groups. That is very true. You could take the gate off and just put them on choke groups. I don't want them crossing because we're using audio. So here's the audio sample. And I'll show you that you could do this in two, probably sampling in with one bar, which is what I used. Or if you prefer, depending on your BPM, you might choose to do these samples in with like 2 bars to give yourself enough. And what I mean by that is, right now, I'd literally have it set to, or you could just take the bars off and just do infinite and cut it off yourself. I did mine with 1, but looking back after recording them, I wouldn't mind doing 2. Hit that. It's going to wait for you anyway, right? And then you just play the chord, let it ring out. Now, the tail end on there is good for you to have. Here's the chord, so that the chord doesn't cut off too soon when you're playing it. If you get a clip at the end of it in the SP, then you go to Shift Envelope and just turn your envelope maybe like, I don't know, like 1. You just need it to be like 1 or 2 at the end, which is fine. Exit out. Should take away that clip if I'm not mistaken. There you go. It's a little smoother at the end, so it doesn't. Depending on how long you're going to be holding your chords for, that's going to make a difference. So that's why I say use 2 bars instead of 1, like I did on the previous version. So you'll see mine cuts off a lot quicker. Now this song here, and by the way, I didn't even do it, but you could go Shift here. And then I think if you go to Remain and click it, if I'm not mistaken, and you turn it to like 1, it'll do it to the whole bank. No, it did not. To the bank. Maybe you have to hold Remain down. I can't remember that part, to be honest. That's what it is. Hold Remain down. And then, yeah, it does it to all of them. That's what I want to do. Cool. So I think I have a pattern already built in here. Shift TREC mode. And we're going to remove that. And then we're going to remove this one. Remove that. Okay, there we go. So now we'll put them in. And I prefer to play chords in. It's kind of weird doing like trig, what is it, not trig, TRX record on chords, in my opinion. It's just something about it I'd rather play. So the way I would do it is I would just go record, pick that pad. If it's set to 4 bars, that's fine. Get out of TRX mode and just play in the regular. I don't need to quantize this because it's just chords. I'm going to hit record. It's going to be a count in. If you don't like it, just re-record it. Like that last one, I want to do it over. Kind of wanted a little this one too, but whatever. You could go back and fix that. I'm gonna record it all over actually. So I'm gonna to delete it. I'm gonna just pick the pattern, hold down delete. This is the quicker way to delete, and then hit enter while you're holding it down, and it takes that away. Now I'll just re-record it. So you could put them on fix. That helps sometimes if you go shift fix. And then you got your volumes kind of locked, so you don't have to worry about them depleting one in volume versus the other one. Hit record, pick the same pattern. I'm actually going to do 8 bars. Well, you know what? I'm going to stick to 4 because the beat's only on 4. Let's do this. Pattern here. I'm going to duplicate it and make it 8. There we go. I want to have a little more play time on the chords. So I'm going to go back in now. And now I'm going to record 8 bars. That's what we want. In real time, hit record. And here we go. Yeah. Okay. So that's why I prefer to record in my chords like that. Now, if I had played this straight in, I could have done the same thing. But for some reason in the pads, playing it in, I'm going to have them all separated to do it, already chopped up. And I don't have to sit and chop them individually if I just record them in chopped. Or record in the whole chord that I need. The little time it takes is so much better than chopping, in my opinion. So then if I'm in here already, I could be like, well, let me just get another instrument then since I'm already in here. And we talked about this in the previous video. So I'm gonna throw a tenor sax in. And in order to play it, let's say I don't have this hook to here, which I do prefer to play it here, by the way. Then I would just do it in here, in the play mode. So I need to know what key I'm in if I don't know what key I'm in, right? And I did, that's C sharp or B flat minor. So what we're gonna do is we need to know what notes are in those. To figure out what notes are in them, you know what? I'm not gonna use that because I don't wanna mess my chords up. You could either use scalar if you want to figure it out. I'll show you how to do it in scalar. So here, just pick the scale, pick the note. What do we say? C sharp. I'm not about to review that right now. not C sharp minor, it was C sharp. We'll go here. So these are the notes that are played. So you can just learn them. It's all the black keys and then a C and an F. Boom, you got it. All the black keys. So and I've shown this in the past, so I'm gonna show it again. You can hit resample, pick a pad. I'm gonna pick this pad. I'm gonna leave this one on zeros because I wanna record in unlimited. I don't wanna feel like I'm trapped on my solo, okay? So I'm gonna select this pad. It's gonna wait for me to play some in. So I'm gonna get ready, catch the beat. 1, 2. Messing up, whatever. Mess up, hit exit before you record it in. It didn't record. Hit it again, select the pattern, and start over. 2, 3. I meant to hit record there. Sorry, I hit the wrong button. That was my fault. All right, so we're going to do it again. No big deal. Select the pattern, ready. 2. So now you have it. This is the one I would go shift gate on, and to see it's flashing. Oh shoot, my bad. I'm gonna have to do it over because I forgot to turn the external on, so then it records your drums. You don't want it to record that. So when you hit resample and you pick the pad, make sure you go up here and turn it to external in. That way it only records this and not the drums with it and the chords with it. All right, sorry about that. So let's do it one more time. Select the pattern. This is going to be the pattern. It's going to start when I start. 1, 2. Now we should just have that. There we go. So we'll on this one, again, we'll hold this button in and hit the knob in and hit the gate. Now you see it flashing. That means it's going to play all the way through till it finishes versus me just having it cut off on an 8 bar, right? So now we'll go back in the pattern. We'll go record. We'll pick the same pattern and we'll set this one to TRX. Hit record, pick this one, plug it in there. So when it comes back around, it'll play this one. Gets back to the first, it's gonna play it. And it'll play it all the way through. And you'll see it'll let it linger all the way throughout into the next 8. And it'll skip a bar, watch, or skip a cycle. See? Now it'll come back on the next time, it'll play on the first one. you go. So that's how I like to use the Swamp stuff with the SP. I'm gonna stop it right there. We're gonna end this video. Chords, how I bring the chords in, how I bring in the instruments. Of course, you already know how to do drums. It's pretty simple. Most people got that down. And then bass line. Now you can record bass straight if you want to do that, kind of like how I did it here, but I think it's better to. Bass is tricky, okay? If you know what for me it is, because I'm not just using any bass. I'm trying to get real bass sounds. So fretless is the closest thing we got on iOS, in my opinion, to getting like a more real bass sound. There is one thing in this tape thing I like to add to it, and it's let me see if I can make this enlarge a little more. There's one in here, I talked about it in the previous video, and it's called bass. There's fat bass, which is okay. Nice to mix glue. And then where's the other one? There's one called bass glue. Of course, you could use the dirty. There's quite a few in here that are actually really good, I think, personally. I'm trying to find the bass glue one, though. And I'm not seeing it. There it is. Bass glue. Turn it on. It's pretty good. But to cut it through the mix and still hear it, you need something else. So you're going to boost the sound. I guess the way I do it is just use Grand Finale. Saves me a lot of headache of sitting there trying to figure everything else out. Turn it on the bass presets and use the bass cut through. Now, you might want to put the glue after that because just bring it down there. Now, this setting, if you hold this little thing down here, is an acoustic. There is one in here for, I like muted basses personally, but this is a muted pick, and I don't like a muted pick. That's cool on I think rock songs use like muted bass sounds, and they'll use like a pick, if I'm not mistaken, for it. That's not really for me. There's a aggressive finger style is cool, but there's one more I thought in here. Oh, Studio Jazz. Yeah, so I would use the Studio Jazz a lot. But you need to remember what notes you played. Again, it's learning the scale. If you don't want to use this, which gives you the vibrato and everything, the black notes in between are the sharps and the flats, okay? So G sharp or G flat, right? A sharp, A flat, okay? And then that's how you learn this scale, if you're wondering. If you don't care about using that, you could always use the built-in, oops, Lord, no. You want to be about in that range, C0 to C2. If you prefer a keyboard. Me personally, if I'm using this thing, I prefer touching the screen on this one, just because I feel like it works best that way. Oh, excuse me, works best that way. If you don't have fretless, the another good option, or an okay option, and nothing great on iOS as far as bass, in my opinion. That's because I'm picky as all get out. But another good option is, I think it's in the Pure Synth Platinum, if I'm not mistaken. We're going to remove those just because I don't remember exactly. And it's Bassalicious too. It's okay for like the R&B type bass. They have one, I'm trying to remember what it was called. I haven't used this stuff in a while. It's called 101 Owl Bass. This one you'll need to play with a keyboard of some sort, or the built-in keyboard here. And you'll probably need to send this one. It's okay, but it's still synthy. It's not going to sound like to me like a real bass. But that one, and what was the other one in here? I think that's it. In here, all these are very synthy bass. But for some reason, this is the only one I ever used. It doesn't even sound the same since the last time I used it, to be honest with you. I'm not impressed by any bass sounds in here. And I say that like wholeheartedly. It's just they don't impress me. And possibly because I use Trillion. So that makes sense. So this is probably the closest one. But you gotta learn what chords. Now, most of this is in the black keys, minus the C and the F, right? But the rest. Anyway, that's that. All right, I'm gonna end this video. Wanted to make one just showing you a little iPad to SP workflow that I like. This is just my method. If I was on the iPhone, fretless is on the iPhone. The Swarm is now on the iPhone, and so is the Neo Soul Keys, which is one of my favorites. Piano-wise, there's some expensive stuff. Like if you went with, Piano Tech. Personally, that's the best iOS. That's the best pianos, in my opinion, on iOS, period, hands down. If you want something that's a little less expensive, then I would say you could go with like the Pure Piano or Pure Upright. Some of the other ones that are pretty good. These are just opinions. That's the main ones really that I would use. There's some other ones out there that are okay. But yeah, that's what I got for you on that. All right, I'm out.